Please stand by. This is the 10. And this is 10 o'clock talks. Welcome, 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 Pittsburgh. Good to see everybody. I know I'll be seeing you. I thank you for that. So, America, the strong, the brave. That's every bit of what you are. This is the pump. Are you ready for a challenge? It's every day, it's in our face, it's now, it's here. We need a cure. We need strong numbers together. That said, it won't be what you normally hear from me today. Enlightening, I think it will be. Excuse me. I got this to say, though. To all of America. Support someone's dream. Support your small businesses. And remember, we're strongest in numbers, together, to save America. Where do I go from here, right? Well, follow me here. Follow me. Let me send some thanks out, though. It's always important that I do this. I want to say hi to the Patriots, the 47%. Trump, Patriots Uncensored. Save America, Stand Up. Beautiful name, Stand Up. Trump's 2020 fans. Americans for Freedoms. Just to give you a few. If you're not a group member to some that I've mentioned, maybe you want to consider to do that and see the work people put in during their day to share with you, to wake us up. That's kind of where I'm going today with this PC broadcast. Again, I thank you for your support. You people rock. Honestly, you're helping me grow. That just says, look, more people are looking, checking in. I'm just an ordinary guy. I tell you that over and over with an ordinary opinion. But I'm serving a purpose. I know that. I have a lot of different information today, some which is always repetitive, and that's the repetitiveness we're living in right now. We post about. But maybe some new enlightening informations that could help. Just a little short dab back into what I talked about yesterday. According to the punch in your arm, Dr. Sherry Tenpenny, I caught something that was most recent by her, and it's so important. So important. I mentioned the doctor yesterday, and there's so many that are coming forth now. But I find this to be the most enlightening part, because there's a lot of discussions. Everybody wants to know the backgrounds and so forth. I want to get to the points of where I think this is, what's being explained to us, and what our awareness should be, most definitely. Recent data are showing, only on a 10% scale, that there has been, with this punch in the arm, 25,000 problems reported. Now remember, this is a fraction of what we really know. It seems there's been near close to 12,000 deaths associated. Data keeps growing. One must ask himself, did they get you with the infection? Did they get you with the cure? That's the real punch in the arm here. One on the left, one on the right. I mean, but it's out there. And, down in California, there's been a lot of research, proven research of what lies ahead for some. And I know weak and innocently enough people who want to believe in our governments of the world, what the CDC tells us and more. You know, people do put their faith into this. And to lose a life over it is just the worst thing that can happen to a human being. It's sad. It's really sad. But if you get a chance to listen to anything that Doc Sherry says, Tenpenny, Tenpenny, check her out. She is worth the time. You'll know who she is. They suppress all over the place with everybody that has an opinion, because there is an agenda to the opinion. You're going to have to make your choice for you and your family, your own welfare and well-being, the safety as well as your family, and their considerations to what they will do. I'm not telling you to choose to anybody. I'm with you one way or the other. It'll be your choice. It'll be your future. Make it the best one you can. Yeah, make it the best one you can. And remember, support someone's dreams. Support small businesses. How are you, America? Here's what's going on in Pittsburgh. I know I got a lot of Pittsburgh, the Pittsburghers, the Pittsburghites. I don't know, what can we call you out there in Pittsburgh? Anyway, weather's going to look phenomenal. Today it's going to be mild, cloudy. You know, they're talking around 55 degrees or so. Upcoming week's looking pretty good. Looks like we're going to be in the 60s and stuff here. I hope you're getting all that out there too, America. Everywhere, if you don't already have it. I did see some cherry blossoms, a picture sent and posted through someone I know down in South Carolina. So things are changing. And that's a spark that we need in our lives, to be honest with you. Positivity has to be blended here. It's a must for your mental health, without a doubt. And remember, Allegheny County and further outreached, that there are rent programs now to help you get your landlord paid. Please do it. I'm still very mad and angry, though, for the landlords that had people and tenants for 6-7 months and they bail. And what do you do with that? What do you do with that loss? There's so many gray areas to the politics behind everything. And this American Failure Rescue Plan, it doesn't isolate enough of anything. It just doesn't. And one of the things that really blew my mind that I came across was the fact now, get this. If you're a white farmer supplying the country with goods, whether you're harvesting beefs, pork, chicken, I guess whatever, vegetables, fruits, you're not mentioned in this bill if you're white. Not a lie. No, it's in there. Excuse me, little scratch today. Yeah, that blew my mind. These are the people that waited, suffered on the sidelines that Trump tried to protect, and get them support, and he doesn't, and everything's being roadblocked, and now another roadblock. America, what has happened to our glory? You know where I'm going. We talk about this every day. But it's just another validation of corrupt communists in our country. No longer government, one-sided. Now pushing the election slide through on how to control that narrative. But I told you how to chop them. I told you. They can do whatever they want. We can put in whoever we want and rip all those brick and mortar areas at the foundation to collapse their plan. It can't be done. And if you look up floridadefend.org, get information on how to make your blue state better and what you could do to help it. Or text 474747. Do it. Do it. We need these grassroots. Even if we put somebody in there that has no background whatsoever, the vote will win. And that'll be an issue that we're going to have to really keep our eyes on. That part being a good, legalized, marked vote. The utmost important there. But as long as we fill that seat, hey, we'll give them time to get used to where they're at, what they're doing, and how they can help. What will be important, there'll be a lot of hands out that will help anybody. If you have someone in your area, in these blue states especially, and others, but blue especially, let's get these campaigns started now. Now, we're already getting into the primary voting and things of that nature. A lot of votes will not matter until November. We have some time here. We can tackle this. We can take it on. I implore you to contact Florida and get the information that you can. And as well, they're big supporters of Sydney, and Sydney has a lot of news coming for you. This battle, for whatever reason, as I said yesterday, I have not a clue. It's still there. Maybe not as largely looked at, of course, but it is still there. Keep that in mind. Don't know what the promising scenario to it is, but you don't just waste your time. And we do see that we do have some legs to stand on out there somewhere in some places. Let's hope for the best. Let's hope for the best with that. But can you believe it about the farmers? I mean, to go that far. And this is what today I'm trying to express to you. I want to send an awakening, if I can, in some ways that will help, what's going on. And today I might have a little bit more of a shorter program, so you might get, yay, get tired of listening to me. I know some people like to do this for 3 hours every day. They have the format. They have the people who listen. From the small side, I think an hour sometimes is really a bit long, Don't judge me for it, please. Sometimes it just takes that. And I never know how long I'm really going to talk. I don't watch a clock. I listen to what I'm being told, where I'm at, get signals. You're on 30 minutes, and, and I get to see that through the people in the glass and whatnot. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Stay with me as long as you can. And if you can, reflect back. Everything's on the page. I'm trying to run it a little bit cleaner because when I voice, I'm afraid I'm going to corrupt my own scenario of how I can get the points out to you that I feel are really important. I want to check something out here real quick. And I get where this fellow... This is TenOclockTalks. Yes, we are. Something was sent to me. And, of course I comment on it. And this just like, it's just pure BS. And this is why I'm going this route today. So my child can have sex change, take puberty blockers, and learn about sexual orientations as early as the age of 4 years old. But I can't watch Peter Pan, Dumbo, or Pepe Le Pew. Yeah, okay. Rock, I got it there for you. And I want to do a review of something that I think will be important and that could help. And I think everybody knows where I stand. Come on. I mean, I vent this to you. I am not for any of this. What I'm for is disclosure and to expose. Benghazi. NASA mass surveillance. Secret Service scandals. Clinton email scandals. AP wiretaps, Spygate, Trump Tower wiretaps, FISA-gate, Mueller, and the rest. And that exposed money trails, people, policies, procedures, and failures. Do it. Do it. They hate it. They hate it. And eventually we're going to hit them somewhere. It's going to hurt so bad when we find it, it could just hush them up for a minute. might give us a little more slide through one of those gray area cracks that exist out there. Anyway, thanks for listening to that. Rock, I appreciate your post. I really do. Follows me. He's very loyal. Great, great person. Mary Kay, you also. Christian prayers, constant, and she's giving them to you. What she does in her post and her thoughts are for you. And I want to thank all the Christians who support. Mention God, because right now we need the creation. We need the creation of what all this means to be as close to us until rescue can be. And I thank her for that. Always very positive. Always very positive. With talking about Dr. Tenpenny, I want to say this too. Europe, Italy, throughout, they're now awakening to what they're calling a much larger scale of a stronger infection. Trying to watch my words. Yeah, could that be true? Sure, it could be true. But what's interesting here is what we're going to learn from the data and how fast we learn it. So they're already ahead of us. And of course, we're not doing any border actions. We're welcoming, well, hey, hello, come on in. And you can see that that's just crazy. Yeah, come on in. Sure, politics will help us get these people here. We'll give them some promises in our stimulus. They'll send their people this way. They're going to run when they're in poverty, living off $50 a month or something, I guess, as they always say these people in these countries are. I don't know really what the levels of their economics and poverty levels down there, cash flow. But if they ran to this border to get that $1,400, all your Social Security benefits, you can count on that happening. And it did. And isn't it crazy how everybody got a white T-shirt, looking all pretty, out there for days, walking, getting hair, but yet I'm not seeing these shirts looking like they're brown and green, grass stained and slept in and rolled in and wrinkled. No, that's not what I'm seeing at all. It's a plan, it's backfiring. And they're yelling for volunteers to help. And, we have over 3,800 children that came in unaccompanied right now. We can't even house these kids. So what's that dilemma about? Now they're in the middle of the night, they bus them and transport them. And I got footwork to prove that. I got videos sent to me that I don't post that show me really what's going on. And a couple people, I like to call them friends. They're not always responsive, but I know they're busy. They're putting a lot together. And they're going to have a lot to say one way or another. It's concerning, what's really going on at the border and how bad it really is and what's going on. And then you got illegals coming in, I guess, getting bracelets and so forth, whatever that scenario is. But what about all these other people now? They're just jumping over. They're just crossing where they can cross. They know it's a free-for-all. Come on in. Biden said it's a personal invitation. Like, what? They're coming to Joe's inauguration party? What is this? So, keeping that in mind, let's find out what happens. I think in the next 30 days is going to be really important as to what the real outcome of this can't even be listed in a category of what we know is a VAC, but let's see what comes from the punch in the arm. Let's see what comes from the punch in the arm. Because so many relied on their governments being truthful. And we are seeing much different. Back to my main points here. If I have any left. No, for real. Sometimes, you get lost in your thoughts and whatnot, and you got to try to refocus everything back out to you. And again, I do appreciate everybody. I applaud you for checking in and your support. I truly do. What's blowing me away also, besides all this Pepe Le Pew and Peter Pan and the Michelin Man, he's coming, Mr. Clean. They started to hit on Eminem, and that sort of died. I don't know why. They started. He said he was releasing a song that would bury them in ways, and all of a sudden it got hush. See my point on the gray areas? What makes them stutter and shut up? There are areas. So let's keep an open eye for what that's about. But anyway, the fashion Grammy March, it's pathetic. I mean, what's going on? And I'm going to reflect back lots of years ago here for you. And maybe you'll see just how far this think tank was and how they used it. And we probably slept through some of it in our more youthful time, if you're at my age. And if you weren't, you were a child just trying to figure out how to crawl across the floor, I guess, with that. But this is like the weirdest thing to me. And it truly is. Now, you got music, you got Hollywood, you got messages, you got vulgarity. And these songs, and thank you for posting what you do. This is how I come to this. But it's really needs to be looked into. So you got all this vulgarity and all this rap music and whatnot. And I'm not saying what they're doing and their messages aren't good. Maybe they'd be better if they just, chose to use different languages. But we are in that time where the F-bomb is not welcome and cultured. Everything's tested, and then it gets worse, and worse. And that's where we're at. But where did it start? Let's think about this. And I'm going to probably bad rap some people who you had admired in life. But you know what? It is what it is. It is what it is. And it's an eye-opener. Now, you have all these scenarios with music, movies, lyrics, words, unethical statements. And I heard one that kind of blew me away. I want to thank my black kings and my black queens. Well, young lady, you have been very successful. And I'll take my hat off to you for that. But your comment, I give you no respect. Your crowds across the board were supported by white young females. And that's a real kick in the face. Supremacy, is that what you're exploiting here? Don't forget where you came from, who got you there. But however, I do know there's a blacker symbolic thing there. I've seen your signals to Hillary Clinton, your hand signals. I know what they mean. I know what they have meant. I kept my mouth shut about this at times, Miss Beyonce. And again, I'm not your enemy here. I'm just calling a shot on what I see. I'm glad you got where you got, but you need to wake up and rethink what you support. And it was said. But when you look at the clothes and you look at the male feminized gender now that's coming out, and the skirts and military and so forth. I mean, we're like losing our minds here. Without a doubt, we're losing them. And it's not us. We're awake. We're watching this go down in front of us like rain falls from the sky. And we see it. We know it's there. We feel it, and it comes out in us in different ways, anger, disappointment, and so forth. But there's a bigger picture to it with this think tanks and stuff, because even where they write the best music, for people that are successful, there are think tanks who do songs, and they're very good at what they do. I've always told you that, and they're impressive. Look at their music, their history. Their writers, do you really think that every one of these writers have come into these scenarios? Rock and roll was you didn't make it until you were 40. These people make it when they're in their young teens as a sex symbol. That's basically what I see it as. And then sex sells. Let's remember that. And that's kind of where I'm going here. These haircuts, the clothes, the gender, the transgender. it's what's being thrown in our face, but remember where it comes from. Remember where it comes from, how I think where it came from. You may agree, you may disagree, but it's all about suggestive ideologies of a new norm. But when did this all happen? This is what you need to think about. I want you to think about something that goes back so many years ago. This is going to be for the adults here. We're adults. And our second childhoods, okay? This is where we get to relive, and, you know, the kids are grown, and you get my drift, and now you have grandchildren, but you got your own life back, and it would be great if you could go out and live it. Reap the rewards of what you worked for. Anyway, in essence, saying this to you like this, Madonna. You all have to remember that wedding dress. I don't know what she's singing. You might be my lucky star, something, I don't know. Totally slutted out, rolling all over the stage with her tongue. This young lady is the girl that grabbed her groin area and shoved it towards the cameras. And hello, right there. Right there. There's my point. We may have slept through this and missed it. I'm guilty. I thought to myself, wow, this chick's bizarre, but, you know, hey, you know, now that I'm awake, I see really what this was about and the driving forces behind her. And they supported her as far as performing even in front of the President of the United States. We won't mention names. And he applauded the performance. He condoned it. So when you have these kind of things, it slipped by us, I would assume, because it got there. And this is the girl that wanted to burn the White House down. So you know which side she was always on. Somebody always gave a push of a narrative in ways, probably had the songs written for her as well. But her actions on stages were her own. And we see them with Jennifer Lopez and other people as well. Many. The skin-colored bodysuits that make you look, or nude-style bodysuits. This was all being pressed into our minds from way back. And now there's a new millennium that's getting pressed into their heads. And that's why I think we see these changes for sure. Because they tested the waters, they tested us, and they knew where they were going to take us. This has been an old plan, without a doubt. Without a doubt. And this opened the gates. So, I mean, this is an example to the world of what had happened, where possibly it started. I don't put all the blame to one artist. But when they're on stage, the actions, the tongues, the licking, the grindings, it's soft porn. And it's okay. It has been okay. Somewhere along the line, some of us, weren't awake. And if you tie this into what you're seeing now, the steps that it took to get here, it's conclusive evidence of what the plan was. And there's different structures and government programs that support this and fund this stuff. And many levels. Many levels. So, yeah. What you think about that, Jack? I mean, it is what it is, right? I don't know. All I can tell you is go back and watch what I think was when the gate opened. And every one of us started to follow it. You know sex sells. I said it. They programmed us in ways to change our thoughts. I believe that. And, we were young. We weren't adults yet, even though we thought we were in many ways. In many ways we were. We had kids already, being young. But we were blind and didn't see some of these things. But if you look back, you reflect, it's there. We were caught off guard. We never knew in front of us what this would do and where it would bring us to today. So I think that is some of the answers. But again, I don't want to use this three-letter word like crazy here, but sex changed so much. It found our weakness. We jumped in, joined in. And let's face it, girls wanted to be Madonna, dressed like Madonna, and they were. They idolized this woman beyond, and they knew they could focus and use you on that. And they did. They took total advantage of you. Now, if you followed with her narrative in performances, if you lived that, yeah, you may have been a little, easy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It probably was nobody's fault. We learn to idolize certain things, and maybe we don't judge them greatly. And I'm not dogging anybody. I'm just saying, look at the big picture here. That's what I'm trying to tell you. There's a bigger picture here. And I call these government programs that support this. And they are there, they do support it. And it's no different. It's men and women both. Men look at the women look at women, men look at men. I mean, it's a variation of everything. And it doesn't matter if it's, I guess a hot guy versus a hot girl up there performing, sending out a message, or a rapper, needs to pull up his pants more from the front instead of at the waist behind. I don't know. Maybe they have a different judgment on what works better for them, or wishful thinking, trying to get out to you a different message there too. But I want you to just put that into your head. Think about it. I'm implanting this into your mind because I really want you to think about the past and where it brought us. Now, and I want you also to think about this. There was a point in time where rock just died. It did. It went away. It came back. I don't know what. I mean, I know in some cases why, maybe how. Too early to opinionate on it because of where we're at. But, rock stars didn't make it until they were almost 35 to 45 years old back in the day. And then again, it just seemed like there was a different sound, different desire for music, and they trapped us. And you made these people rich, and now they're out there talking crap on you. You keep that in mind. That tells you where the narrative was, who they're supporting, because the cash dollar was important. But they achieved, the long-term effect of what they wanted to see happen in America. And that's why it's so easy for them now to just throw this out, and they're going to figure, well, you know what? We threw it in their face before. Madonna put it in their face before. We can do it again. Yeah, real slap in our face. Real lesson learned. And you don't have to agree with me. But you do in Hollywood as well. Have the good and the evil. Government funding programs and movies. Control. Now through big tech. But let's stay on the movies for a minute. And I could mention a bunch. But you see, there was a battle there. There were different types of people that only did certain types of movies. And that's all they looked for. They would not have partied to everything going on there. So there is even a separation in Hollywood. If you follow what people have done in ways, you'll find that. But that doesn't mean they're innocent of anything that has gone on that we learned about Hollywood. We'll never know all the truth. That's for damn sure. We just won't. And then you have to think, maybe I'm wrong here. Could this all have been so perfect to just be by accident? Don't judge me. I'm just saying. I don't think so. Or was it all planned? So, how long have we lived in this? Is this the new norm? Was that the new norm 30 years ago or so, 40 years ago, when all this came to light and started to present a movement into our minds? Look at the touching, grabbing, licking, skin color type bodysuits, and you try to decide. I think I have. And that's why I wanted to make sure that I spoke on this today. I truly wanted to get that out there. I think it's good concrete information. Is it hypothetical? Is it opinion? Could be. But that's what makes me me, and that's what makes you you, and that's where we can meet together here with this. And again, we are 10 O'Clock Talks. This is the 10. Please pass that around to your friends and so forth. Say hello out there for us. Share us to your friend. Make us part of your day. It's greatly appreciated. And I want to say special thanks to what Patriots at Large are doing down in Texas and the movement. They ask for nothing, same as we do here. Anything we can do to support small businesses, we never ask for nothing. We're we're not even in a tax-free bracket of any sort. We're not a business. This is all about what we can help each other with here. We do this together, and I can be your voice. I hope you hear that I am and learn to understand who I am and where my path, I would like to see my path go, and support to all Americans with a better cause for a better restoration of America. I would love to see the jump from Grant to Trump. That almost rhymes. I could rap that for you maybe. I don't know. No, don't listen to me. But truth, I don't know if that'll ever be, but maybe at some point, up in 2024, if we take out these small bricks at the bottom and make this foundation start to rock the weight up top, and if we can take over these smalls, there's going to be no infrastructure left at the top to hold it up. Keep that in mind. They would expect an attack. Hey, let's support Trump. He's going to win the next election. But yet, look at all the lower seats like before. This is why he had the problem he had. We need to crush from the bottom, work our way up. We take over these cities, township, boroughs, council seats, mayorships, governor positions, lieutenant governor positions, secretaries of the states, all the big seats. And again, so what if they're not qualified? So what? Our vote will be qualified. That's all it will take. Give them nothing to control at the bottom. Without us to control, they have no willpower. They have no strength. They're weak. Nothing they say will matter. And if they want to punish us, so be it. We'll separate us, and we will have separation. It will come. There was a lot of good in rock and roll. Keep on rocking in the free world. He didn't totally agree with Trump using his song, and I don't understand why, but his music had a great message in it. And many other, Humble Pie, Janis Joplin, they had voice for America. And that's what the big 30 was about in that era. Sad that they all left us, but that's what that was. There was a lot of good messages in that music. Some of us missed it, some of us didn't. And if you had, turn it on, listen to it. It's got great vibe. It's got great vibe. So I thank Terry down there, and if I can help you guys in any way, I will do everything I can, and I am trying to send you support from the people that do listen to me. Merle, Pittsburgh, Texas, Catman, Marcy and Spring. I don't know. I'm still trying to decide where you're at. I haven't heard from you. I have other friends, though, down in Texas. They're all good people. They're all good people. They really, really are. So with that said, again, back to the border. You can't blame Trump for what he cured. This was a controlled scenario. The minute you use politics and money to filtrate a country for whatever practices they wanted to do, it is what it is. And now we're going to suffer through it. And we're going to try to stop things just the same as we're going to try to stop all the push on the guns and insurance and registration of this and 2 large clips this way. And, these are items that need fought, but there's hundreds. There's literally hundreds. Misuse of our money, misuse of our opinion, and our suggestive our suggestions to like the relief plan, to shoot our party down as strongly as they did on many things. But remember, they control the House and the seats and so much more out here in the world, too. That's why we need to attack from the smalls. We really do. It's a cheap, victorious scenario. I'm telling you, but you got to do it. Get out there on your feet. I can't be alone here on that part. I really have to push this because President Trump asked me to. Not personally, but it was in his message. So I hope you get where I'm at with that. I also want to advocate a little bit more on women's rights and things that occur for them. This whole thing, wages and everything. The government on the wages, if you want $15 an hour, put something out of this money that's going to sit aside and say, we're going to do this and we're going to get everybody the offset of the money. That's we need to push. We need to push things like that. We need to write to everybody and get them to move on that. Sure, it'll help, Pay for it to make it help. Don't give it away. But outside of that, when you hear that there's nearly 87,000 women die a year, there's something wrong in this world. You know, people are just nuts. Yeah, I'll say that clearly. Did they get themselves put in situations they shouldn't? Did they pour judgment to themselves? Yeah, that happens too. But we have to figure out how to try to fix some of that. We really do. The same with the equal right and pay. We need to fix that. And I wanted to just get that out there. When I was like blown away when 87,000? Wow. Yeah, and don't even ask me to tell you how many people go missing a year. That'll just blow you further out of the water. But these are things and crises that we do have that we're not even discussing. There's so many important things that need to be discussed and figured out, not just by what we're getting thrown, what they're serving up to us. So back me on that. Please, ladies, I need you. I need you hard because you're good writers. You're smart. You're intelligent. You're beautiful. You're strong. You're America. We need to write. We need to write to people and get this heard. While all this is going on, we need this heard for you. And I support you. I'll do anything on this end that I can. Now, the IRS, they're down 14 to 20% in work on a work environmental system that we used to have. And I know that Trump tried to levy things and, smooth the economy, which he was the most successful president ever to do, to put it where it was and where we were until it blew up. But, yeah, now they need a little more help. And they do because there's so much being put on these people, and they were never faced with this before. So when Trump did this, don't go blaming the man that had the plan, the right plan. All right? Listen to the man, not their plan. Yeah, and there's reason for that. He did make sure people could go into other jobs. There was always another door to open for some, but now the IRS has failure in it. And when you do your tax returns and so forth, you're going to see the effects of that because they're getting overloaded, overwhelmed, and they're controlling a lot of how the money divisions go out as far as who's getting what, where, and when, for what, where, and what purposes. They're bombarded. Bear with them. Bear with them. That's all I can tell you. Make this stimulus count, and if you can send anything to DJ Trump, you do it. You do it. Put a fire under their ass. Can't buy a gun? Use it to support him to fund his election. Could you imagine the thought? Maybe they never thought of that gray area. See, this is why they're there. This is why that happens. Anyway, yeah. So give a little bit more time. It's going to happen. These are some of our parents in there. Where I'm not saying anybody's on any side in there, but it is what it is. And I expect to see things go slow. They're announcing it now. If you didn't hear it, I know everybody really wants to know about money. This other thing on the Social Security that Joe, I think, once brought up down in the basement, and how this rescue bill is going to rescue the lower income folks to middle class and change poverty. But we have so much poverty, and nothing's really benefiting the Social Security, SSI, or SSD. Nothing is in there to help them. The same with the rent plan things and all that. It just isn't working. So, anyway, give you a little bit on that part. Now, in our state, Governor Wolf, who I really want to see, I think he's never going to run again, but, whatever the case scenario on that might be. I believe he made a statement yesterday that came out. I ran across the post and got sent to me, and it's all true. He's talking about April 4th. I'm going to get you open to 50%. I guess they're waiting to see what happens in Italy and Europe over there. And it's all Europe, London. I mean, they're having a really bad wave. More information will come out. The medicines, where we are with that, the punch in the arm thing, and the disease and everything. It's complicated, but we should keep our eyes to that. But anyway, he's thinking about getting us all open in some better capacity by April 4th. So, yeah. I believe it's April 4th. So we got 3 weeks. in Pennsylvania to see a little bit more light. In the meantime, if any PPPs are out there that help you in your business, please look them up. I have a list of stuff, but I might do that Friday to try to send some out there to people. And I hope all my friends at the Blaze Grill had a great weekend. I tried to send you business. Angela's Pizzeria, I tried to send you business. Lawrenceville Motors, I tried to send you business. I tried to send everybody business. Salon Atmosphere, what a beautiful job you guys did there. Just want to say that. And if I can help anybody anywhere in America, you have family, anything. I mean, come on. I'm not getting much from you guys out of Pittsburgh. And sometimes it's even slow in Pittsburgh. But we hear Mike's Beer Bar is a blast to go to. Whiskey 12's a blast to go to, or 12 Whiskey here in Pittsburgh. If you have something out there that you need shouted, talk to me. If I scare you with my level of where I'm at and what my ideology is of America and how I protect it and pursue the restoration of America, I apologize to you. I'm not against you. And if you're a voter from the other side, if you don't wake up soon, and I know people are waking up, you're going to come to our side. I know you are. And maybe not everyone, but there will be some. And our voters, the numbers for this platform is going to go like this. We already know it was close to 80 million. True. We know it. But it could just escalate. And if we take out these smalls, I know you're tired of hearing that, but true. We have some chance. All right, so getting past that. I'm appalled what they're doing to the white farmers. It's just like here in Pittsburgh, not to go back, but only black females are eligible for a $500 a month because you work incentive for 2 years. And we have people, single mothers and families, all in need. ACLU won't even respond to it. Are they bought out too? Did they sell out just like the government? It's been a long plan, a long process. I want to give you a couple fear factors here. This has to do with power grids and what a concern that I have. Now, we have 3 major power grids in the United States. Texas has a small, solely operated power grid. India as well. Now, you might remember where India went into the black. Did Russia pull the switch? They can hack anything, basically. And a lot of these systems do work by, people that know that kind of thing. And China and everybody else goes into this, and that's the format. It can take them forever. That's why they implant people into schools and scholars, because down the road they might be useful to them somehow, some way, and they take advantage of that, and they get their points across to these people when they do it. And all countries seem to be involved that way to do these kind of things, and we welcome them into the United States. And I get it. We should all be more at peace and stop this silly bullshit. We really, the world, the global world, to become one, we're nowhere ready to become one in humanity. Nowhere near it. So anyway, important fact here. Texas suffered in the same kind of magnitude of a thing. Yeah. Now you have 3 power grids across the United States, though. And from what I understand, they've all been patched. They've been mixed, matched. They do things together. It's a very bad scenario, truthfully. You can't, it's like being in a bad dream where you can't find your pants. You're standing there naked and there's all these people or something. I don't know how to make it any more of a get you to understand kind of thing. It's somewhere you wouldn't want to be. In some cases, people wouldn't care. But I'm just saying, with that effect, our power grids are that bad. And, wow, we're just in bad shape. We have no protection over them for where we are in hacking systems and so forth. The grids are just terrible. And that scares me because if something happened and they, you know, it could really put us in turmoil that you would never be able to believe. You know, we would not have water pumping stations, filtrations for water being purified. It would shut down so much. It would shut us down, period, which would be much worse than a virus. Why do I tell you this? Because we have no protection there in a good way. And the systems are so old. They really are. And nothing that's even in the new plan of politics going on is going to save that kind of thing right now. Doesn't matter that Joe gave permission to people to do this, that, or the other. Yeah, invite them in. Show them our weaknesses, Joe. But anyway, we are very weak there. And we need to, that is something so hugely in need of being looked at. I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm just saying you see in other scenarios that I described what are not being really addressed in proper ways and in proper channels. And I'm totally against that. So I wanted to bring a few of those things up. And again, the Russia Solar Winds Power Act, I mean, look into that too. Do some homework for yourself. I could get into that and explain a lot of it to you. I don't think now's the right time. Getting late into the show, but Florida is also being placed on a hard seat right now where they're at, opening with spring breakers and so forth, and how bad it is. And I don't know, will we see some type of something happen? I think it'll be a great test to see where we really stand with things, to be honest with you. But they're down there, spring breakers are down there living it up, having a good time with no worries, as the U.S. does look on. And that we have, and in a nutshell for today, I guess, with that stuff. But again, I always want to thank you guys for sticking with me. I really, really appreciate, you guys. I do. I hope I say things that are kind of insightful. Remember to look at that big picture on how this is being thrown in our face now. It was already there. It really was, with the music, movies, and so much more. And I think it's important that you know that. To think about it. To think about it. Let me see here. I might have a final note that would be of interest here. I don't know if it applies to today or what I was prepping for tomorrow. Yeah, this is kind of interesting. I'm going to let this ride for today. I was starting with this tomorrow, but at the end of the day here, final thought. January 6th, the breach, the big event where people begged police to interact to stop this, and they wouldn't even listen to people. I seen videos of people running up to officers in full dress guard and whatnot, almost in riot gear. And they weren't anybody who did it. They just stood there. They never moved. Their presence was there, never did a darn thing. And then you have these media people, CNN and more, who, why aren't they being arrested? They crossed the doors. They did the same act of breach for their own, I don't know the word, but anyway, right now. But, to put out their narrative. And they're not being arrested as a public nuisance in that building as well? They had no purpose of good to be there, truly. They overstepped their boundaries. But they do like to walk into war, and they get a lot of things covered, just like we get with this punch in the arm. And be real careful there. Be real, real careful there, everybody. There's too much coming out on that. And if you already did it, I respect you. That was your choice. I get it. Us, the strong, are going to have to just stand stronger. And maybe at some point this was all for a reason and we don't even know it yet. I hope it's not a global effort to separate ones who did and didn't. But there's always that narrative too. We don't know the true facts behind when you have so much being suppressed and hidden. So we have to stand tall on that. But ask yourself, why are they not being charged? Because I can think of 3 or 4 offenses that they committed going in there. And it makes you also wonder in some of the videos, you know, these scenes were set up. There's no other way to describe it. They were ahead of officers, knowing where they were going to go. They already had people there filming. There's someone down below taking filming, shooting upward. I don't know. If you really look close, you'll see that these things happen. And it just makes me question. Our law enforcement agencies are just not up to par yet. Trump tried to cure that. But again, the narrative is on the other side. So, it's been a great day with you today. I got to burn some things. I got a little bit more work to do in Pittsburgh here for myself. I enjoyed being here today with you and talking to you. And again, I do thank you. I don't like to keep bringing up things, but sometimes I just do that. Maybe it's dementia coming on in the later part of my years here, but yeah, I'm going to try to make the best of my day. I'm going to say this to you. I'm going to go and do a couple miles today, the later part of the day. Let the final warm-up air come in. It's better for you if you're going to sweat, least chances to catch cold. And if you do catch cold, don't be in fear that the worst has happened, okay? You can catch a cold and it means nothing. Don't let that part scare you and run off for some nasal test, all right? Don't even do it. What if these nasal things are really contaminated? We don't even know. We don't even know what's going on truly. Don't subject yourself to these kind of issues. We live in America. It's still a free country, even though we're suffering in the free country. And we'll speak more on where we're at with that and explain the titles of socialism and communism probably tomorrow to try to give you more intelligence of the scenarios in case you don't know all the meanings. Some people just don't. They don't know what a lib is. They don't know what Tea Party is. They don't know what socialism really means. They just come in, I'm for you. No, you'll be for us when you understand it all. So I'm going to spend a little time on that. And again, I thank you. From Pittsburgh, we are the 10, and this right here is 10 O'Clock Talks. We appreciate you. We stand with you. We are a voice for the people. Make us part of your day. Don't judge me. I will never judge you. Thanks.